What are you working on?
I'm working on the second half of how it made Kenya feel, and it says the moment I came back to Kenya, I felt lonely because it felt like a piece of my family was destroyed, and it felt like there wouldn't be no other thing or person who really cares. But but how I feel with the magnometry, I wouldn't I wanted to share my accomplishing things with it and just take time to reflect of peace. I cried for a little. A, a few minutes later, I I yell stop. This would affect our kids not having in education. So stop. Everyone, I say, be ready to bring peace into our work of generation. Let's build a perfect village so that boys and girls can learn and get an education. The next day, everyone has an assignment to do. So let's get to let's start working. And also,
Can you tell me what you're trying to do in this piece?
in this piece, I'm trying to do is like build another space together that would not have at first the village you in Kenya they couldn't go to school because in the text it says at the end it say because this girl named Wangari she really was interested in going to school, but her brother only had the opportunity to go to school and she felt very lonely and that but her brother would be so thoughtful and give her ideas even though that was wrong, like the vision and what they learned to help her, but she was feeling also upset about it because she wanted to get an education too.
So only her brother was allowed to get an education at this time? It's okay. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
And so like boys was the only people that could go to school, but girls didn't have an education. So the moment that I came back to Kenya, I felt as though
That you went back to Kenya?
well when Gary went back to Kenya, that I can build it 10 times better than it was before and make some adjustments, and that it can bring peace into the world and build different things, and that everybody get an education, just not boys but girls, to bring peace in the world.
So in your work, like what role are you taking? Are you taking the role of that character?
I'm taking the role of Wangari, and I'm taking also the role of leadership because I want to have I want to be able to go in the world and have a dream and change the world and also help others by being like a methodologist and do science things and change the world. And if girls get an education, girls in Kenya because they was native how they lived, many girls really don't do things in life, and not many girls was in Kenya had opportunity to.
So if, I'm sorry, you can just finish.
Like girls in Kenya didn't really have jobs, and a girl really wasn't a methodologist
You mean a
and
biologist?
a biologist, and she wanted to change that because you can be whatever you want.
Okay, do you mind if I give you some advice or if we work on something together? So I noticed that like you're asking yourself some really important questions. Like you're asking yourself, what would I do if I was Wangari? What would I do if I wasn't allowed to have an education? And then by the time that I do get an education, my whole entire village is destroyed. And I noticed that you wrote, I wanted to share my accomplishments, but now I just have to reflect. I cried for a little. A few minutes later, I yelled, stop this. And it made me realize that you were really delving into this character, and I wanted to push you to ground yourself back in the text, because I see that you're really, really able to step into this character's shoes and show her a lot of empathy because you also want to be an agent of change. But I want to ask you a couple of questions, and here's an anchor chart. As you've collected these different ideas and you're writing about one, now it's time to like hone in and ask yourself, what does this teach about the character in this text, about life? What does the authors want readers to know about this? What does this make me realize? What surprises me about this? Does this text connect to others that you've read? And what issues of life topics does this connect to? You can also ask yourself, like, what is the important thing about this text? Like, what is that big idea that the author is trying to get to you? And you want to be able to ask yourself these questions and really, really flush it out, okay? So let's practice one together. What does this teach about the character in the text? What can you take me to the part where you pick up? It looks like you're delving into her. Can you take me to the part where you pick up?
You still testing?
Come on.
It was right here.
I noticed that when Gari is not thinking about leaving her village, is she?
No.
Is she thinking, oh, it's over. Nothing's here. They've cut down all the trees. I have no purpose. I'm a biologist. I have no reason to be here. Is she thinking that? No. Instead, what is she thinking?
She's thinking that I can, like, she's thinking that I just don't have to be here. She is thinking that I probably can step up and try to build the community and get people interested and tell them, explain why it is so important and how this can affect the lives of the children, and how it's like she trying to she's just trying to be a leader instead of being like laid back, because she steps up and she try to accomplish and like tell everybody, give orders and tell everybody like assignment to do to be successful, and everybody will work together to build the community back as a village and just not be all poor and just laid back.
So I know that there's something they're trying to teach us about life in this text. And I know that from what we've read before, when Gari said she would never forget what she learned about the
what's the tree name? The Montgomery tree. And that really teach us about how...
And she came back, and they're all gone.
And they're all gone. And that really made her feel sad, because the Montgomery tree meant a lot to her. That like encouraged her to do the right things. It was like another spiritual like thing that helps her like to be the best that she can be. And like,
what could she have done? I mean, she's been in America. Let's think about this. What could she have done when she went back to her village and realized everything I love, everything I came back for is gone?
She probably could have just went back home and said,
home or to America?
Back to America and learn. And she probably would have been like, I don't need this opportunity. I'm trying to get an education. I don't got time for all this stuff.
Right, but instead she decides to what? To make a
village and help those who need it, even though the village is
So she's devastated, and she could just leave. And instead she decides to stay and to help the community. So this makes me wonder, what does this teach us about life?
This teaches us about life, like when there's something that you have in life and that you really dream of, and there's the problem, and you just try to like bring the problem back and just say, I won't stop, I don't want to do nothing else. This book can help us, because everybody has a different problem in life, and everybody just won't think, oh, I'm not worrying about it. But instead, you can you can go try to face that challenge and go try to overcome it, because you instead of being all desperate and say I'm not doing it, you can at least try to help the community. When you see things not going correctly, you can help it, because at the end of the day, you are becoming better than the others are weak becoming weak at, because you're stepping up and trying to be a leader.
So she steps up and she's a leader. Did you see how you were able to talk about that and in such a focused way? Like you were able to understand the message that this text is really pulling on persistence. It's really focused on persistence and not giving up on your community, even though things are in turmoil, right? You don't give up on your community, and you make that change, and you should become that change. And I see that you're trying to write that. I just wonder how powerful it would be to see you really ask questions of this text so you could deepen your writing. So I want you to continue working on this, and everybody at this table can do that. Continue asking questions of this text, okay? Go ahead and get to work.